Hey guys, what's going on? I just saw the WWE Super Show from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Bill Goldberg is your new Universal Champion, so he'll be heading into WrestleMania with as the champion. Uh, I don't know how to feel about this. Goldberg, I made a video about Goldberg uh, way back in my other channel, way back in the day in 2015. When I talked about will he get into the Hall of Fame. He eventually did get into the Hall of Fame in 2017, back when he went against Brock Lesnar for the championship. But speaking of Goldberg and speaking of Brock Lesnar, this means that both men will be heading into WrestleMania as respective champions, and Goldberg for the blue brand. This was obviously a move by uh, the Fox because ratings for SmackDown Live have been really lagging with the Fiend Bray Wyatt as the champion, and they wanted, I guess, somebody that people knew from the golden era of wrestling in the 1990s. Goldberg was one of the biggest stars that WWE ever had in history. WCW ever had in history. He made history by winning the WCW Championship in July of 1998, and he had a historic winning streak that ended in December of that year. But Bill Goldberg is 53 years old. He is very, very old. And last time they were in Saudi Arabia, he and The Undertaker had a very embarrassing match that people still cite on record as one of the worst matches of 2019. And then, of course, he came back in the summer and he defeated Dolph Ziggler. But besides this being an atrocious decision on the part of WWE to push somebody so old and their continuous reliance on nostalgia figures, this is kind of good for the Fiend, because now the Fiend will not be the sacrificial lamb to Roman Reigns, who I believe Roman Reigns will eventually be the one to go on to WrestleMania and face Bill Goldberg for the Universal Championship. So people are reacting to this negatively, saying, well, why is Bill Goldberg winning the WWE the Universal Championship? He's so old, he's old school. They're all relying on nostalgia, but I'm looking at it from a positive point of view, because I'm seeing this actually is being good for the Fiend, because the Fiend gets to protect his mystique, and he doesn't have to, like I said, sacrifice himself to Roman Reigns come WrestleMania season like was expected. You need something bigger than Drew McIntyre to draw people in. Like I said, the Royal Rumble win of I made the video on the Royal Rumble, and the Royal Rumble win of Drew McIntyre was complete stupidity. Um, he should have never. He should have never won the Royal Rumble, because he has no name recognition, and even if he goes on with Brock to face uh he goes on to face Brock at WrestleMania. So what? Nobody knows who he is. It's a complete waste of a main event slot. So at least now with the Universal Championship, you have two recognizable faces in Bill Goldberg and Roman Reigns, and Goldberg can easily lose to Roman Reigns, making him the Universal Champion, and could probably have a couple of return matches against uh, Roman. In the promos leading up to WrestleMania 36 will be good because we'll do good in the ratings because people know who Goldberg is. He's from the golden era. But we know these Saudi Arabia shows, they rely heavily on nostalgia. They push guys like The Undertaker, who was there, who defeated AJ Styles. AJ Styles, completely a waste. I don't even know why he sticks around. He was so hot in 2016 when he debuted at the Royal Rumble, coming off of TNA, seeing the franchise of TNA uh, be in the WWE was a tremendous thing. But these Saudi Arabia shows, to me, they're like Clash of Champions to me. If something big happens, uh, the whole internet reacts like today, but usually nothing big happens. So when Goldberg won the championship, I'm like, wow, because number one, this is Saudi Arabia, and Goldberg is a person of Jewish origin, and that significance seems to be lost on people that the most famous Jewish American wrestler ever won in a country that's ruled by Sharia law. Yes, it's entertainment, and it's not actually real. It's scripted entertainment, but he headlined the show, and obviously he had to be approved by Mohammed bin Salman in order to happen. Otherwise, Vince McMahon. His jurisdiction was completely overruled. Some people don't even agree with WWE doing these shows because of the Jamal Khashoggi incident from years ago, and because of Saudi Arabia's oppressive practices towards uh, women, religious minorities, and others. But that's a political debate. But in terms of wrestling, this is a huge thing. This is like an African American being crowned uh, a world champion in the segregated South. This um, country and regime and region of the world was very anti-Semitic, very anti-Jewish, and a Jewish person just headlined one of the biggest that they ever entertainment type shows that they ever had, and on top of that, from a wrestling context, Goldberg was himself as an individual, not his ethnicity and stuff aside. He was not. Was not well liked even in WWE when he came back in 2004 from his run from 2003 to 2004. People questioned whether he would even be in the Hall of Fame. I did myself, and now he is back and he's the champion again. So people would disagree with him being put over the younger talent. Of course, they would. but the historical significance of it cannot be lost. The wider significance of it cannot be lost on people. Now, people are not really going to look at it in this way with this slant because some wrestling fans are not even political. Some don't pay attention to politics. They just will say, well, Goldberg is just somebody old that's winning championships that should be reserved for the younger talents. But Saudi Arabia doesn't know these younger. They don't like. They don't know anybody from NXT. They don't know who these people are, like Keith Lee or Matt Riddle. I barely even know who they are, and I've been watching wrestling for over 20 something years. You know what I mean? So they rely heavily on the older talents, like Undertaker, like Goldberg. But yeah, the man Bill Goldberg is the Universal Champion, a Jewish person, a Jewish American person in Saudi Arabia. This is huge news. But